And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, you guys can see these slides okay? Awesome. Oops, we're on the wrong slide. Let's go to the beginning. Okay, so this is a power hour. Basically, what we're really going to focus on tonight is expanding our network, connecting with people, and inviting. So like the core business building activities. This is how we create an income. This is how we build a business. Everything else is like fluff. These are the things. If you don't do these things, you're just never really going to get ahead in the business. So obviously, I stress the importance of using our tracker because it just keeps you on track, obviously. But I love the fact that it has a time specific for each little area. So you can simply set your timer, which I highly recommend you guys use a timer when you sit down to work this business. Now I am, yes.
Turn on TV.
I'm sorry, guys. Andy, they're not here. Have my phone. Okay. Stay right there. Close the door. Okay. Okay. So like now with my business, I'm able to sort of set specific business hours in my day because I have worked my business to a point where I am not having to work, full-time as a nurse anymore. I've also got children who are in school now. So my day looks a lot different than what your day looks like. And if you are in the beginning stages of building this business and you're still working, a full-time job or a part-time job, like you have to hustle in the moments you can when you work this business. And that is what I did for a couple of years. I hustled in every crack of my day that I had. Early morning, late at night, breaks, nap times, grocery store, lineups, like anything. Just one second. Andy, you got to turn that down, bud. Okay. So what I am trying to say is if you want this to be a business, you've got to treat it like a business. Otherwise, it will be a hobby. And there's nothing wrong with hobbies. Hobbies are great, but hobbies don't pay. Hobbies don't change your life. So you have to really make the decision if you're willing to put in the work or if you just want this to be a hobby. It's totally up to you. We will always be here to support you with whatever your goals are. But, you're here, so I'm just going to assume that you guys are here to build a business. So stop overthinking it. Keep this simple. This is simple. This business is seriously simple. I always use the example of when I am a nurse and I go to work, like it's hard. I have to deal with really hard things, just like I'm sure you have to deal with really hard things when you're working your job or when you're at home with your children and like things happen in your life. Like that is hard. This business, it is not hard. It is very, very simple. We just tend to overcomplicate it. So keep it simple. Commit to your program. Commit to your nutrition. Fall in love with the products that we have to offer. Multiple products, not just one product. Get familiar with lots of our products. And then share that on social and start to invite other people to do this with you. That is the foundation of our business. So be excited about that. Stop focusing on how you're going to get people and instead focus on creating relationships and just being real. Can everybody just make sure that they're muted if you're just hopping on? Okay, so I always say it and it maybe gets annoying, but when someone can relate to you with what you're posting on social media, when someone can relate to you and they can like start to see themselves in you because of the stories you're sharing and the struggles you're sharing, they're going to start to like you. Even if they don't even know you, they are going to start to like you. And they're gonna kind of almost want to be like you. And when that happens, they are gonna want to do whatever it is you're doing. So that is why this is a relationship building business. You are building relationships with people. And if you are just skipping that piece and just trying to sell, and how do I get more people and how do I get business builders and how do I get Success Club points, you won't see success. This is going to be a hard business because you're missing the core foundation of this business, which is connecting with people, becoming friends with people, getting people to trust you. Because when that happens, things become really, really easy in the business. So what we are going to do tonight, it is really only going to work if your storefront looks good. So what I mean by that is like your storefront is your social media. So how does your Instagram and Facebook look? And I'm not saying it has to be perfect with like the perfect pictures and filters, but I mean, it can't, like if you go to your Facebook or Instagram profile and you look, or even have somebody else look for you, and if all you see is Beachbody and working out, that's not going to draw people in. That's not going to get people's attention. So if it's just like post-workout selfie after post-workout selfie, that's not enough. You need to show more about who you are, what you offer, your story, and give value in different ways. So you really have to, before you can like start worry about like finding people and why isn't anybody wanting to do what I'm doing, you really have to look at your storefront. So I'm going to refer a lot in this call tonight about your store. So when I say that, I mean, like, I'm just going to say your Instagram feed or wherever you're running your business from, but your store is your Instagram profile. That is your store. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine did not start out anywhere near what it is now, but I constantly was evolving and I was constantly trying to create more engaging content that I knew my followers would be interested in, not just a way for me to shout Beachbody and to show what I'm selling. That's not what it's for. That's not what our storefront is for. That's a whole other call. And if you need help with that, there will be a call that we've done somewhere in the team page. Just ask your upline, because I won't really go into all of that about your storefront and, you know, social media and stuff. But okay, I kind of talked about all this. Yeah, if they come, like when you start following people, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to go and click on your Instagram. So when they do that, are they going to want to stick around? Are they going to click on your profile and go, oh, she's selling something, I'm not going to follow her? Or are they going to be intrigued and go, ooh, I kind of want to keep seeing more? So this is like basically what I was saying before, the foundation of our business. This is the things you need to do daily. This is like the unsexy work. Luckily, this does not take very long. These things can be done like in under an hour for sure. You can break this up in between like 15-minute chunks, but this stuff doesn't take long, but this stuff is often what gets missed. And then coaches are like feeling frustrated because their business isn't growing. So expanding, we have to expand our network or you will run into a dead end business really, really fast. If you're new and you're seeing some success, that's amazing. It's most likely from the people who already know you really well, but they're gonna, like, you're gonna run out of those people. And then what? You have to constantly be bringing in what we call cold market people, and then they will eventually turn into your warm market who will become your next customers and coaches. And then you need to be connecting with people. Be interested in other people. Don't just expect people to start liking and commenting on your stuff if you're not liking and commenting on other people's stuff. So be friends with them. Start to make friends online. And then invite. So don't be just like spammy about inviting. Sometimes I see two things happen. Either coaches just aren't inviting at all because they're afraid to invite, or they're sending out mass amount of cold invites to just random people. Both ways are ineffective, in my opinion. Neither one will build your business. But like I said, I'm going to refer back to your store. If people are in your store, those are the people you should be inviting. So if there are people who are constantly watching your stories and who are constantly liking your posts, those people are in your store. And as a business owner, I personally feel like I am doing them a disservice if somebody walks into my store and I ignore them. If somebody walks into my store and I don't acknowledge them and say, hey, welcome, are you interested in anything? I'm a bad business owner, right? Like, think of it that way, of owning a real store and someone walks in. You wouldn't just like it, like, oh, I hope they'll message me. I hope they'll ask me what I can offer them. They won't. They'll walk out of your store and go into another store where somebody's friendly to them. Okay, so we're going to go back to all of these things and actually go through them tonight. And then following up, this is non-negotiable. You've got to follow up with people. If you don't, you are leaving money on the table. Most of my sales come from the follow-up. I follow up religiously with people, and you need to have a system. So whether that is just paper and pen and a notebook, or writing names down on your tracker each week and then just like converting those names over onto the next tracker and onto the next until they finally buy or block you, you have to have a system of some sort. Okay, so we're going to dive in. First thing we're going to do is we are going to expand our network. So what I do, and everybody does this differently, so I'm just going to talk about what I do tonight. If anybody else has really great ways of how to find followers, I would love for you guys to share in the chat thread. But what I do is I start this by going to a really good friend of mine who is not into Beachbody. So someone who is similar to myself, we have similar interests. You know, for me, she's, you know, going to be in her like 30s. She's going to have kids. She's going to have like a nice social media account. She's going to post mom things and she's going to be a positive person. Like, that's kind of my person. So I am going to go to her account, my friend's account, and I am going to click into her followers. And then I'm just going to start following people. I am not overthinking this. I am just scrolling through, and as long as their profile looks like somebody I would want to be friends with, then I follow them. I do not overthink it. I don't click into their profile. This is like a very quick tap, 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 follow, 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 follow. If for some reason you're going through your friends' followers and you're like, these don't really look like my people, then go to somebody else. Like, don't waste too much time. You can usually tell pretty quickly if this person is going to have some good followers. So the reason why I like this method is because when these people who you are following, when they click on your profile, they're going to see that you guys both have a mutual follower. So it's not totally creepy. They're going to be like, oh, you know, so-and-so also follows this girl who just started following me. Okay. It's like having a mutual friend. So they're going to be more likely to follow you back if you're connected to them somehow. So this is what we're going to do for 10 minutes. I'm going to set the timer. If you are like really good about following people daily, what I do now, and this is just super simple. So I will go look at who followed me back yesterday when I did this task, and I'll just go look at one of their followers. And then today, like tomorrow, I'll go look at whoever followed me back today. I'll go look at their followers. So it's like you just never run out of people to start following. It's pretty incredible, really. So 10 minutes, any questions, just put them in the chat box. Okay, so I actually forgot to look at the clock, but I think it's probably been about 10 minutes or so. So you should have been able to follow like a ton of people. And I hope that you guys are like not just going off and doing something else. Like I hope you really are doing these specific tasks. I know it's really easy to like start scrolling and stuff on calls like these and multitasking, but just do this and I promise you you are going to start to see some results from it. So, um, okay, so now we are going to start the connecting part. You've expanded your network. Awesome. Now we need to connect. So, one of the first things that I like to do is I want to actually connect with the people who I just followed. Because what this is going to do is these people who we just followed, they're going to get a notification that Stacy started following them. So, awesome. But what takes this a step further is them getting a notification saying, Stacy started following you. And then Stacy commented on your post. Stacy liked your post. That is going to like, they see that and they're going to be like, oh, who is this Stacy person? And they are going to be so much more likely to go and follow you back because of the extra steps that you took. It's like, I swear to God, it's proven because I've skipped this step thinking, like, oh, I just don't have time. It's not really that important. And every time I do this step, I gain way more followers. So it is definitely worth the time. We're not going to be able to connect with all of them because, you might have just followed a ton of people. Now, if they don't have a public account, you won't even be able to see that you followed them. But all of the people who had like a non private account, you will be able to. So, what you're going to do right now is go to your profile on Instagram and you are going to click on following. So, it's the number in the top right hand corner. And then you can sort it by like date followed latest. Is everybody following me here? It should say sort by default, and you can change it to sort by or date followed latest. So this is going to show you the people that you just followed right now. So I'm going to give us like 2 minutes. What you're going to do is you're just going to click on their names. If for some reason you click on their profile and you're like, whoa, this is not the type of person I thought this was going to be, just unfollow them. No big deal. But if they seem like they're someone you'd want to be friends with, you're going to look at their latest post and like it. Is there anything that you can give a genuine comment to? Any of the posts that you see just like right away? If you can, awesome. If you can't, don't force a comment. If they have Insta stories, quickly watch their Insta stories and see if there's any way that you can get into their inbox by just dropping like a short comment or an emoji or like something just to let them know that you are taking the time to check out their profile. So let's do this for like 3 minutes or so and just kind of go through as many people as you can. Okay, so obviously that can go on for a while. Like you can get lost in connecting, which is why I always set my timer because I mean we all are busy. We've got stuff we need to do in our day. So now another thing that I do is I message my new followers. So the people who follow me back, I send them a quick little message. Now, the thing that I have found that works best with this is I don't send it to them right away. So if somebody, let's say somebody just followed you back right now, I encourage you to not message them now. Maybe wait like 24 hours or a little longer, 36 hours, and then you can send them just a quick little like thanks for the follow type message. I find that this is more authentic than like jumping on them right away. It seems like, you know, you're so hungry for like connecting with someone that you're going to like as soon as they follow you, you're in their inbox. It seems a little desperate. So I actually have gotten some really great response from doing it this way. So for instance, the people who followed me back yesterday, because I do these things daily, the people who followed me back yesterday, today I sent them a quick little message. And same with tomorrow, I will message the ones that followed me back today. So it just shows you if you're not doing the work consistently, you're not going to have people to constantly connect with. Does that make sense? I see some stuff in the chat. Do you tag them somehow? Marianne, I'm not sure what you mean by tag them. But okay, I'm gonna tell you guys like the message that I send. I'm just gonna find it here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just go to a new follower. Okay, so this is what I have been sending to people. So, you know, don't necessarily copy word for word what I say, but make it your own and make it sound like something you actually would say to someone. So I say, "Hey, Megan, thanks so much for following my page. I hope it brings you joy and inspiration when you need it." So I feel confident sending that message because I do believe that if people check out my page, they are going to get joy and inspiration from it. So you need to find your words and be confident about what you send them. But I find this works really well. I'm not asking them a question. Some people don't respond, some people do, but I feel like I'm making that initial connection and it just seems to start some conversations. Collections. Yes, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Yeah, so you can always see who your new followers are, even just by going into your followers and it'll show you like your most recent people who followed you, as well as your notifications will always show you that. Okay, so that's what I do for new followers. That's how I connect with them. And then I will sometimes, like, let's say I had 6 people follow me in the past 24 hours. So I'll send out 6 of those messages, but I want to send out some more messages. So I will send out a similar message like that to just people who follow me in general. I just have to mute some people here. If you're just hopping on, just make sure that you've muted yourself. Okay. So I will often just go into the people who are following me and I will just do like a random scroll. Like I have 5,000 people who follow me, and you can do this if you have 300 people who follow you. Just do a random scroll and then just message, like pick 10 people and send them a quick little message. So what I send them, and it might sound dorky, but I feel like this is actually what I would say to somebody. What do I say here? I can't find it right now, but I say something along the lines of, it's very similar, but I say, hey, wait, what do I say? I say, hey, I'm not sure how long we've been following each other on the gram. And then I do like a laughing emoji because I think it's funny when I refer to Instagram as the gram. So like that's just me being funny. So I'm not sure how long we've been following each other here on the gram. Ha ha ha. But I wanted to say I appreciate it and I hope that my page brings you joy and inspiration. So very similar to my first message that I send new followers, but I like to send that to like 10 people a day because they may never have seen anything that I've ever posted. Like, if you have 300 followers, you probably never see half of people's stuff, right? So I'm going to assume that most of my followers don't even see my stuff. But if I can get into their inbox, they're going to be much more likely to go check out my stuff. Because I believe if I can just get people to watch my stories and follow me along, if they're my people, they're gonna want to join me. That I just feel confident about that. So the more people that I can get to see me, the more luck we're gonna have. So just get into people's inboxes. So that is a way that I connect again. So I've got lots of different ways that I connect. So hopefully you guys are following along, taking note of these things. Um, and then another thing that I do is I go look at the people who are liking my posts. So anybody who likes my post, I'm not necessarily messaging them, but what I do is I click on their name and I go look at their profile. And I will comment on their last post. I'll watch their Insta stories if I can. But that is how I engage back with the people who are paying attention to me, and that is just going to be like keep the connection going and keep them following me and keep them interested in me, because if I feel comfortable commenting on one of their posts, maybe they're going to feel comfortable commenting on one of my posts. Okay, so that is kind of how I connect. So there's collections. Now I don't want to confuse anyone with what collections are, but collections are a way to save and sort people who you follow. So if there is somebody who you are following who you maybe want to connect more with, or you want to invite, or you're like, this person would be amazing, like I don't want to lose this person, I want to remember who she is, and you just don't want to use paper and pen, what you can do is go to their profile and click on one of their posts, and underneath their post you're going to see like a little arrow. If you tap on that arrow, it's like oh no, not that one, sorry, that's saving. At the bottom of the right-hand side of the picture, you'll see it's like a flag, I guess, like a little flag shape. If you hit that, a thing will pop up that says Save to Collections. And if you hit Save to Collections, you can actually create like little files. So there's like a million ways you could do this. You could make a little section of people who are your new followers for the month, or people who you've connected with in March, people who you've invited in March. Like, you can kind of do this however you want. I'm still working out a system with this, to be honest, because I'm just not consistent with it. But there's options for that. If you want to know more about collections, if you go to YouTube, there are some coaches who have done some really awesome tutorials on how to use collections with your Instagram. But again, that's not something that's going to necessarily be a business building activity for you right now. Like, so don't take the time to go watch a YouTube video and get collections all organized if you aren't connecting with people and following up with people and messaging people. So make sure you're doing the business building activities before you spend time on learning something else. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So we're going to connect with people. So let's spend 10 minutes, which isn't enough time. Like, I would normally do more time than that. And let's connect with people. So if you followed people yesterday, you can send them just a quick little blurb, just a nice little message if you feel comfortable. Go through some of the people who already follow you, and you can just send them a nice little message. If anybody wants me to put those messages in the chat thread, let me know if you need an idea. Go look at the people who comment on your posts and send them a message. And we'll do this for like 10 minutes. Okay, so we're just gonna stop there, but this is this is a part of my business that I spend a big chunk of time doing. Like a lot of my power hour is dedicated to this. I will follow people for like 10 minutes. Invites take minutes, but this part I spend a lot of time on. Just gonna check the chat. Do you do I do a daily power hour? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I mean, like 6 days, 5, 6 days a week, or probably 6 days a week. Like I get this stuff done every single day, even when I'm at work because I get breaks. And while I'm sitting in the lunchroom and everyone's scrolling their phone, and I would probably scroll my phone, well, I might as well find some followers while I'm scrolling. And then at my next break, when everyone's scrolling their phone, not talking to each other, I will connect with people on Instagram. So I always do this stuff because I know that the more I do of this, the quicker my business is going to grow and the more success I will see. Um, okay, so we are going to now move on to invites. This isn't a scary thing. And as soon as I shifted my thinking and stopped feeling like it was such an icky, gross thing to invite, it became really easy and natural, and it doesn't feel gross in the slightest. If it feels gross, then you have to sort of ask yourself why it feels gross. Either you don't know these people well enough to be inviting them, like you haven't connected with them, or you don't believe in what you have to offer, or maybe like what you're inviting them to isn't something that you feel good about. So figure out why you don't feel good about inviting. If maybe that is something that you're like not doing because of a way you feel, really figure out why you feel that way. um, so the way I look at this, I'm going to go back to the store. If someone walks into my store and is like browsing and is coming to my store daily to see what I have going on in there, I am a bad business owner if I do not invite them. That is my mindset. So for people who are watching my stories every single day, all of my stories, I feel like it is my duty to reach out to them and invite them to check out whatever it is that I'm offering. I feel like I would be a bad business owner if I didn't, if I just let them sit there day after day, day after day. Because if I don't invite them, somebody else is going to invite them because they're going to go start following another coach. And that coach is probably going to be a little bit more bolder and they will invite them. And so I'll miss out on that. So when I started doing this, I couldn't believe like the response that I was getting back. And when I invite someone, my mindset isn't, I hope they say yes so I can sell them a challenge pack today. My mindset is, I hope that they read my message and that I plant a seed. I don't even necessarily care if they respond or not, but I know that I am planting a seed. So think about it. I haven't used this analogy in a while, but it's a really good one. So imagine you have like a neighborhood, you're in like a Facebook group for your neighborhood, and someone posts about a barbecue that they're having this weekend, and they want everyone in the neighborhood to come and, bring your favorite dish, RSVP, starts at 6 p.m. We want everyone there. So, me personally, I would read that and be like, ooh, that sounds fun. But they probably don't mean me. Like, I don't know them very well. They probably, like, I can't just show up at that. That's weird. Like, what if they're like, what are you doing here? We didn't invite you. So I would continue to like creep on everybody who says they're going to this party. And I would want to like see all the pictures of everybody at the party. And I'm going to sit at home wishing that I felt confident enough to go to this party, but there's no way they meant me. So that is sort of what people feel like when we put out call to actions on our social media. Enrollment's open. Do you want to do this with me? people sitting at home are probably thinking, she doesn't mean me. Like, I don't even know this person. She can't mean me. Like, there's no way I'm going to respond yes, because she's going to say, like, well, who are you? I didn't mean you. Like, that's what I would think. I don't know if you guys think at all like that, but that is definitely how I would think. So I would just sit back and be like, oh, that would be cool, but I'm not RSVPing. But imagine that person who's having the little neighborhood party messages me or calls me personally and says, hey, did you see my post? Are you coming? Like, bring your kids, come. And then I would be like, oh, yeah, for sure. I'd love to come. And then I would be so excited and confident about showing up at this party. So we need to invite people. I hope that you guys can see that analogy and how important it is to actually reach out to people and let them know that it is them we want. So I have no problem sending out invites to people who are in my store. They're watching me. Like, I'm not going to send an invite to somebody who's not following my stories or who's not engaging in my content. That's cold and spammy, and they're going to say, who are you? Like, I have no idea who you are. So this is what I send people. Very simple. I say, hey, Christy, I notice you have been following along with my stories. Always appreciated. Would you be interested in some info on my upcoming group? Happy to chat more with you. That is it. So, couple things though. I said, would you be interested in some info on my upcoming group? I feel confident saying that line because almost daily in my stories or on my social media, I am always talking about my group. I am always talking about my wellness club. I am always talking about the women in my group, enrollments open into my group. So I feel pretty confident saying that phrase. But if you have never talked about a group or anything that you're offering, if you were to send that to someone, they would probably think, what group? What is she talking about? What is, like, if you are sort of presenting yourself as, I have a hobby and I work out every day and I feel amazing and this is really cool, but if you aren't presenting yourself as a business owner with something that people can join, when you invite them, they're going to be like, what is she talking about? I have no idea what she even means. So really, like, you can't send these messages if you haven't done sort of like the homework behind it, if that makes sense. So if you're like, ooh, yeah, I'm not ever talking about a group that I'm running or a start date or enrollment being open, then that's something you need to start working on. And then you can start sending out these messages they'll be effective then. So you can do the same thing with coaching. If we have a sneak peek coming up, which, check the calendar because we always have like at least one, if not two webinars a month. If you're talking on your social about the webinar, you can send the same type of invite and instead saying, would you be interested in checking out our upcoming webinar on what we do as coaches? I would love to have you check out this information. So if you're running a free group, would you be interested in joining my 3-day clean eating challenge? So I always talk about having a marketing plan because then this stuff makes more sense. So if you are always having something you're inviting to or like posting about and talking about, then you can send out invites and messages that are in alignment with what's happening on your social media. Does that make sense? Okay. So yes, I will send Kelly. I'm going to put that little invite in there right now. But again, make it what you would say, because if you don't talk that way in your posts or in your stories, people are going to read that message and it's not going to sound like you and it's not going to work. So talk however you would talk. So tweak it for sure. And what we're going to do now is we're literally going to take like 5 minutes. And I want you to go through, like, I just find doing this within my Insta stories is the most effective and easiest for me because I'm really consistent with my Insta stories. So go through and I want you to invite 5 people. So find 5 people who are watching your stories and send a message similar to this and invite them. After you've done that, put the first name of the 5 people in the chat thread for accountability when you're done, okay? So we're gonna do that now. And any questions, just unmute or put in the chat box. Okay, awesome. I kind of missed a lot of slides here. Whoops. Um, okay, so now we're gonna wrap up, but I just thought I would mention just a couple things because when these people respond, because you will, like if you send these messages out, like I try to send out about 5 to 10 invites a day. Um, you know, do I do it every day? Not always. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's more, but it's a numbers game. So people will respond. And when they say, sure, send me some info, then what are you going to do? Like, what's your plan? So have a plan. And this is where you need to just keep it simple. You go, awesome, I'm so glad you're interested. and sometimes I'll say, are you familiar at all with Beachbody? Or are you new to health and fitness? I just want to ask a question back because I want them to start opening up a little bit. They might say, yeah, actually, I've done Beachbody for years. Well, that conversation is going to go a lot differently than somebody who's saying, I've been for years trying to lose weight and I am finally ready to get started. So you need to know how to gauge the conversation. So by asking just a very simple open-ended conversation question, that will get things rolling. And then when they're ready for info, all you have to do is go into, for anyone who's on my team, you go into Abundance Nation, you click on the file section, you click on third party tools, and there is tons of information there. So if you are inviting to your wellness club, you click on what is a wellness club, and that document you send them. You simply copy it and you say, here, take a peek at this, and then let's chat about your questions. Or if they're interested in Bar Blend, you send them the Bar Blend PDF. If they're interested in Shakeology, you send them the Shakeology PDF. Like, you don't need to explain anything. You send them the information, and then you say, you know, I'll follow up with you tonight and we can go over your questions. That's it. It's simple. Like, you just, it's systematic, this kind of stuff. It's so systematic. The conversation changes from person to person, but the steps are all the same. And then you will make sure that you follow up with them. So anyone who is interested in anything, their name gets written down on a piece of paper. I usually just write it in either my planner or on my tracker, but their name gets written down because I am going to want to follow up with those people. Let me check the chat thread here. Could you share how you respond? More than what I just did, Michelle? Oh, so you're busy sending invites out. So if they write back and say, yeah, send me info, then I say, awesome, I'm so glad you're interested. Usually I ask, are you familiar with Beachbody? Or I will ask, are you new to health and fitness? Or have you been at health and fitness for a while, or are you just getting started? I just, like, whatever I'm in the mood for, will ask that question. But just asking them a very simple question. I am not sending them a paragraph of information. I sound excited and I ask them a question to get them to talk more. And then they respond. And if I feel like I need to keep asking more questions, I will. But otherwise, I just say, okay, awesome. Take a peek at this info. I will follow up with you tomorrow morning and we can go over your questions. Sound good? And they're like, yeah, awesome. And then tomorrow morning, I will send them a message. Hey, I just wanted to see what your questions were. Did you have a chance to look over the information? And if they don't respond, no problem. We're busy. In another 24 hours, I'll message them again and say, hey, I just wanted to pop into your inbox. I know how busy we all get. Did you get a chance to look at that information? And then I wait. And if still nothing, a couple days later, hey, I'm sorry, I don't want to keep bothering you, but I know you were interested and I don't want to forget about you. What questions do you have? Are you serious about moving forward with this? Like, I just keep going. But eventually they will probably come back and say either not right now, or yeah, I'm interested, but I'm just planting the seed. I'm not necessarily expecting right away this person to say, yeah, send me the link. But I know that in the next week or month or 6 months or 2 years, they will be ready. That's all I'm doing every single day, is just planting seed after seed after seed. That's it. Okay, and then I always do follow-ups. So I'll go through and look at the people who I'd sent information to yesterday or a couple days before, and I'll do my follow-up. So this is the power hour, you guys. This is the work. When you're doing it without me blabbering on, it's a lot quicker. But it's consistency, and it's just being like dedicated to moving your business forward. It is simple. This stuff is easy. It is not hard. It's mindless, most of it. So you just have to do it. So, any questions at all, you guys? No? Okay. Well, we will see you guys on the next call.